Marylou's is back in the news today. I can't believe this. Well, I can believe it, considering this. There's so many reasons to get rid of Barack Obama, but you have Eric Holder in front of Congress today saying that his references to Fast and Furious in emails were not references to Fast and Furious. But instead of going after the new Black Panther Party for voter intimidation or something like that, or allowing drilling and fracking in the United States, instead they are digging for more dirt in their hiring probe of Marylou's Coffee. Now, Marylou's is this company. They got about close to 30 shops on the south of Boston, and they're going up against Dunkin' Donuts, a mega donut company, and yet they're still doing very well. And they have these nice pink cups, and they have good-looking young women, neighborhood girls, working in their shops. And so, of course, the government has decided that they're going to go after them. And by the way, somebody sent me the CEO of Dunkin' Donuts is a major contributor to Obama. Just gave $2,500 more to him last month. I'm sure it has nothing. Let me just say for the record, I'm sure that the contributions by the Dunkin' Donuts CEO to the Obama campaign have nothing to do with this witch hunt that they have undertaken against Marylou's. Federal anti-discrimination crusaders digging for dirt in their hiring probe of Marylou's Coffee reached out last year to at least 2 rejected job seekers, one 42, the other 55, who then filed complaints claiming they were denied jobs because the Java counter with the Java counter because they're too old. The 2 passed-over women told the Herald yesterday that a representative from the federal agency contacted them late last year, long after their failed quest to join Marylou's perky pink-clad ranks, asking for help in their investigation. At first, I didn't want to get involved, but after I thought about it, the EEOC agent had a point, because every Marylou's I've ever been in, it's young white girls, said Milo Spencer of Halifax, who was 55 when she applied in February 2011. They're all young girls, fairly big-breasted, tight shirts. And why do you think so many guys go into the place? Melo, have you ever asked yourself that question? They're all big young girls, fairly big-breasted, tight shirts. And I think I heard on the news that Marylou was saying that's not true, that she's an equal opportunity employer. But she's not. I tried out for the Patriots, but they only hire young, muscular guys who run fast.
You were robbed.
It's just not fair. It's not right. I tried out for the Celtics, but I was beat out by some guy named Hondo and some guy named KG.
How dare they?
They told me I wasn't tall enough. Can you believe that? I wasn't tall enough? Is that a reason for passing me over? Marylou's vice president said the approximately 500 employees include nearly 80 mothers and about a dozen men, mostly maintenance workers, but including at least one Java jockey in Hull. He estimated about 10% of the company's workforce is 40 or older, a protected demographic under federal employment law, and that applicants older than 40 are rare. The other woman, who was 42, she said an EEOC lawyer called her and asked her if she'd be interested in a class action lawsuit. Here you have the country is in the grip of a terrible recession, the lowest rate of working adults in 30 years. More people have filed for disabilities for whatever reason than ever before, because a lot of them because they can't get jobs. And you got a flourishing little donut company that's holding its own against a huge corporation, and the federal government is going after them. This is ridiculous. Milo Spencer said she was interviewed at Marylou's Hingham headquarters by a woman who appeared to be about 23 and never explicitly asked her age. What does the age of the woman asking the questions have to do with anything? But Spencer said she had a gut feeling that she was too old for the company's liking. How the hell did she ever get that impression? You think she maybe went into a few Marylou's? Sitting there, I just knew I wasn't going to get the job. She proceeded to tell me they'd ordered some really tight shirts. hot pink with a little bit of a motorcycle look to it. Yeah, baby. She said she later received a letter saying she was unqualified to pour the chain's trademark-flavored Joe. I was like, are you kidding me? Who can't pour coffee for a customer and wear a nice smile? It doesn't take a chemist to figure that out. What do you think of this? I mean, how ridiculous is this? That the government is going after Marylou's. I mean, I don't get it. There's some jobs that you have to take into account physical attributes, like, for instance, professional sports. What about Hooters? Did Hooters won their case, didn't they? Didn't Hooters prevail? Why is the government going after Marylou's? You know, if Mitt Romney's elected, I mean, these are the kind of cuts you have to make. I mean, take the EEOC and just take a machete to it. They obviously have too much time on their hands if they're going out trolling for discrimination cases against companies like Marylou's. Ed, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Ed.
Howie, I can't believe what you're saying here. I mean, I don't. First of all, when you say that the federal government, it's not like Obama's out there picking his case. The EEOC has the small offices, and that's their job, and that's what they do.
You know what Mike Dukakis used to say: the fish rots from the head.
Yeah, but and I'm definitely not. I'm not an Obama supporter. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not in favor of it. But I can't support the discrimination. Now, I don't know what the case is.
Well, I mean, if you had a choice, Ed, if you have a reputation for having young women, and you know that young women will bring young men and older men into your establishment, and you have a choice between hiring some good-looking woman or a 55-year-old like this Mello Spencer, who would you hire?
Howie, that's the definition of discrimination, what you just said. Now,
wait a second. There was a law firm in New York City that just decided they were going to hire some lawyers for $10,000 a year. They had hundreds of people apply for the job. Now, hundreds of lawyers. Now, should they pick the lawyer from Harvard or should they pick the lawyer from Rutgers, Newark, just to pick a law school at random that Elizabeth Warren happened to go to? Who would you pick?
Howie, that's not physical appearance. You can't judge your applicants based on things like gender.
But that is the standards of Marylou. It's like the Patriots or the Celtics. Their standards are they want the best athlete, right? That's physical.
But Howie, if the best athlete walked in and was 84-year-old woman but could throw better than Tom Brady, they'd hire her. They're hiring people who can do the job. In athletics,
yes.
The Celtics, that happens to be being tall, but being tall generally makes you a better basketball player.
Yes, it does.
You're not hired because you're tall, because they like.
Well, I don't think it's right. Marylou's wants women wants people who are going to bring people in to wants people who are going to bring them into the coffee shop. No, it is their job. It is their job.
The job is pouring coffee and serving donuts.
So you have a choice. There's a million donut shops out there, not just Dunkin' Donuts. There's Honeydew Donuts. There's all kinds of independent donut shops. You have to have something that's going to set you apart. What sets Marylou's apart is that they have good-looking women in the behind the counter. Ed, come on. 617 says you can pay younger girls less money. They make better tips. 1-877-469-4322, 508. Why is it every other trip to the local big donut chain I'm waited on by people who can't speak English? 1-877-469-4322. I think speaking English should be a requirement to work anywhere. Richard, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, hey, Howie, that last guy doesn't know what he's talking about. If you have a private business, you have every right to project the image that you want to project. Look at Hooters. They go through this all the time, and they're always exonerated.
Yeah. Well, remember in San Francisco they had a personal trainer who was real fat, and they got rid of her, and I understand why. I mean, how can you have a personal trainer who's fat? What does that tell you? I mean, who would want to go to a I mean, if you go to a trainer to keep you in shape, right? If a person can't keep himself or herself in shape, who would want to hire them? Mike, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Mike.
Hi, Howie. Thank you. I mean, this opens up the floodgates to everything from strip joints to Miss America.
Strip joints. What a good point.
I mean, come on. I mean, this is ridiculous. You talk about tort reform. This is right now the attorneys across this country are salivating that they can indict a ham sandwich on looks or fat or whatever. But the reason for my call is, I mean, I'm a small business owner on the Cape. I'm fighting for my life when you made the comment about people are doing anything to be on unemployment or assistance.
Yeah.
I'm getting sued myself for a fractured wrist, a little under $100,000. A fractured wrist. It's absolutely out of control, Howie.
Yeah.
Have a good one, Howie.
Thanks. Good luck with your case. Oh, what a great point about strip joints. Can you imagine some 300-pound woman going? I couldn't get a job at the Foxy Lady. I knew walking in there. I knew I wasn't going to get that job. Can you believe it? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be a stripper, you know. Officer Mark, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Officer Mark.
Howie, what is this Foxy Lady you speak of? Is this a sanctuary for weary businessmen or something?
It is indeed. It is indeed.
Yes,
Run by a gentleman named Tommy Sumas.
I saw a program on the Food Channel just this weekend. It's the one where that guy goes around and tries to eat everything. You know, Adam Richman, I believe, is his name.
Yeah, he's used to be a reporter for the Globe. Yeah.
Yes, and what he does, he went to this sandwich shop, and it's kind of like a sandwich shop version of the donut shop. The girls are very, they have the look, but every one of them has to serve on roller skates. It's the trademark of that particular restaurant.
Oh yeah, there used to be a lot of drive-ins like that back in the 50s and early 60s. Yeah,
Sonic does it now.
Yeah.
So if someone goes to apply and they're asked if they can roller skate, and they say no, then they're not qualified for the job, no matter what they look like. Yeah. So there are certain requirements for the job, and I think itself.
And I think Marylou's, one of the requirements is that you look good in a really tight shirt, hot pink with a little bit of motorcycle look to it. Right.
Right. It's like their trademark, what they're advertising. So you're going to force the company to change its look just because some hiring practice might have offended somebody.
Well, you know how they got the idea. You know how EEOC people, these pencil sharpeners, got the idea for this lawsuit, right? They watch they run TV spots in the Boston market with these good-looking women, and some nitwit bureaucrat was offended by the spots.
Right. So basically, we're paying the EEOC to watch TV. That's about it, Howie.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, that is about it. Paul, you're next with Howie Carr. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Captain. Thanks for the information on the owner contributing to. That's why I'm not drinking Dunkin'. Hey, this administration has been the most anti-business. That's not the only one that they're going. There was a story in the Herald a couple of weeks ago about a guy that owns a motel.
Yeah.
And apparently it's frequented by drug dealers, so the Justice Department's going to try to take over his motel.
How about the guitar company?
What about Gibson?
Yeah, Gibson Guitar.
I sent a note to Mitt's campaign. I said, do you realize how many millions of voters play Gibson guitars or own Gibson guitars?
Yeah. And they're going after Gibson Guitar because supposedly they're using endangered species of wood, most of which don't even turn out to be endangered. I'm Howie Carr.